Hello, my name is Dylan Harkness, developer at Rendered.ai. This is a quick tutorial on how to manage volume files in the dev environment. So I'll assume you've got your dev environment set up with VS Code and you've got a repo of the channel you're working with. In this case, I've got our satellite RGB sensor channel in its version 2. And so I've got this set up and I'll start with how to upload volume files to your channel. And so we'll have to open up a console. And in here, we'll have to go into Python and then import AnnoTools and then create a client. AnnoTools.client, close. You can find this on our SDK documentation. And from here, we'll want to put in my credentials. Then sign in. And then this will give us access to the SDK commands that would let us upload our files. And so what you'll want to do for that, I have the command here. It's rather long, but it's client.upload volume data. And you have a number of parameters. The first one is the volume ID. If you've created a volume or you're working with an existing volume, you'll have to get that ID and you'll have to put it in here. Next parameter is the files. Generally, you want to leave this empty. And if you do, then it'll upload everything that you're specifying in the directory, except with these additional parameters. I'll reach over here to the sync true parameter here. And what this will do is it'll upload only files that have been changed or are new. And so you don't need to specify files at all. It'll just pick up the ones that have gotten changed before or recently or are entirely new. And so those will be retrieved from this local directory that you specified. And in my case, like home, my computer name, volumes, SATRGB extras. And so the files are in this folder here. And then once I bring that into this command line, it'll ask a couple confirmations. If you have access to the volume, then you should be able to proceed with it. And then at the end of it, you'll just say OK and upload your volume data. I'll let you do that on your own. But once you've uploaded that data, which might take a while depending on what your upload speed is, mine's pretty slow. So, but once that's up there, you can go back to your repository and you can do animount to bring down the data. Very similar process of entering in your rendered credentials. And I'll show you what that would just look like, same as before. Just do your rendered account email and then your password. I'm going to cut it there. I've already mounted the volume here, but I've got some credentials in there I don't want to show, so I'll just leave it at that. So once you've mounted, you can go up here to the data folder and you'll have your volume mounted now. And these have the files in them. And I'll show you how to edit them locally. There's some dependency based on what your operating system is, and it'll change how this works. I'm in Windows 11 with Windows Subsystem for Linux, so that makes it so I have certain limitations. The first of which is that if I open this up, I have this blend file, and I can't double click on it to open it, is it won't just open into Blender, is it'll just try and open it as a binary file. Some folks I've seen have been able to open it directly in here. They've been on Linux and Windows. So it really depends on what your system is. So, but if you have that limitation, you can get around it by bringing it into this main directory and editing it. And I'll show you why you have to do that. Is I open up the repo here and we go to the data folder into the volumes. You see that there's just these two files here that don't have the Blender files in them. They're just kind of indicators of that volume. And so we can't access them there. But if we go back to this main folder, we can drag this Blender file out into the main folder. And from there, now we can open it up in the Explorer. So now we can double click on this in Explorer and open the file. And in here, we could make some changes. We could make it smaller or larger. We could change the color of it to another color, and then we could save it. I'm not going to do that here, but you could do that on yours. And then once you've saved it, Then you'd go back into VS Code and then drag the file back into where it was before. For here, it's specifically this aircraft folder. So I'll bring it in there. And this will take a while, and I'll cut the video pretty shortly after this because it might take a while. Um, so this one's going to be uploading back in there and it is fully uploading. We downloaded it and then we're sending it back out. So um, that could take a bit, but that's basically the pattern you're gonna have to follow to make small changes to your files, but it can be easier than downloading the whole volume itself. So that just opens up another option for you. So hopefully this tutorial was helpful and thank you for watching.